last Sunday, and as always, very prepared. Extra day's rest, a minute ago, and there's his father Joe, always here watching.
Sequels often, as Joe will tell you, don't live up to the billing, but this one might. Zito and Clemens last Sunday in New York was 2-0 A's. As Zito went the first 8, gave up only 4 hits, and he struck out 3 in that game, including a strikeout of Alfonso Soriano. The A's have really pitched well. He was 0 for 4 last night. He was 0 for 12 in the 3-game series last weekend. He is 0 for 16 against A's pitching this year. Is that incredible? And make it 0 for 17 as Zito only needs 3 pitches to strike him out. Check out the defenders behind Barry Zito. The A's defense brought to you by McDonald's and Eric Chavez. Not only a Gold Glover at third base, he handles everything he gets to, but he gets to more balls than anybody. Former high school shortstop has great range over at third. Tejada Ellis Durazo makes the start at first. His 7th start there. His first since mid-April. Hatteberg is in the lineup, but he is DHing. And the Yankee lineup made some dramatic alterations a little more than an hour before game time. Todd Zeile was put into the order. He lifts this one to left field. Eric Burns coming over, and he's got it 2-away. Jason Giambi was in Joe Torre's original lineup. And Jason was with his dad, John. They went up to Joe about 11:45 this morning and said that left eye is really bothering him. He has a staph infection in the left eye, and now it's creeping into his right eye, his front eye. It's been bothering him since the Yankees were in Anaheim back in late April, trying to work it out with eye drops, and Joe said, don't worry about it. We'll go ahead and make the change. So he's not in the lineup today.
Well, they have to drop off and they put Nick Johnson in. They are very deep in their bench. So it's whether it's a day off because of an injury or a day off in general, Roger Clemens and his teammates have enough of a bench to more than take care of it.
Well, no one's going to feel sorry for the Yankees, that's to be sure. Jorge Posada was in the original lineup hitting second, Ray. Now with Giambi out, he drops down a spot. Zeile hits 2, and then Posada, for the first time in his career, hits third. Coming back to Burns, couldn't get it. That ball hooked back towards Burns. But a good play. Burns went for the catch, and then Singleton backed him up immediately. Posada into second base with a 2-out double.
Well, a bright sunny afternoon. The light shirts in the stands might have been just enough. Eric Burns, good effort, just missed it. But the good news, the outfielders back up each other. That's how close it was. Might have even tipped it off his glove. Great effort as always by Burns.
So Posada with his 7th double of the year will keep the top of the first alive. There's Bernie Williams. Bernie was 0 for 3 against Barry Zito last Sunday in New York. Mark Johnson is catching this afternoon as he caught Barry Zito last Sunday as well. Mark making his 8th start overall, his 2nd in a row with Zito on the mound. Jorge Posada in scoring position. Bernie takes a strike.
Barry Zito does such a good job of working both sides of the plate, as he did with Soriano, strike him out after fastball inside went away. First pitch to Bernie Williams away. And that's the tough part about hitting. Just get a fastball, but as far as the location, where's it going to be?
And it goes up and in. Slow roller to Ellis, and that is it. Bernie strands Jorge Posada after his 2-out double. The Yankees do not score. Roger Clemens on the Coliseum mound. Oakland A's are hot. They won 11-14. They're a season high 9 over at 22-13. And T-Long, reason to celebrate after last night. Little sinking liner. Bernie Williams lets it get past him all the way to the wall, and Terrence Long comes up with an inside the park home run, the first one for the A's since Eric Chavez did it August the 8th of 2000 at Yankee Stadium against a guy named Roger Clemens, who quite possibly, Ray, could be making his final appearance ever here on the mound in Oakland.
Well, the A's would like to meet the Yankees. Figure Yankees would be there in postseason. It might see them here for that, but as far as regular season, and Clemens last Sunday, 7 innings, gave up just 1 earned run, although it gave up 2. And look who's sitting behind home plate in Diamond Lump.
Is that priceless? Dave Stewart. He's staring down Rocket like he's in the box himself, and Stu is going to come up and visit with us later on. Dave Stewart at one time completely owned Roger Clemens when the Rocket was a Red Sox. Roger Clemens now is 15-15 career against the Oakland A's. At one point, matching up mainly with Stu, he was 3-9 against the A's. The Yankees do come here again later in the year. They'll be back in August, first weekend in August, for a 3-game series. So he may get a start, but he may not. You never know. So this possibly could be his last ever appearance here. He's not made it definitive, but it certainly sounds like this is going to be Roger's final year. And as a big leaguer, he's going to turn 41 right around the time the Yankees come here in August. 2-1 pitch to Mark Ellis. Pulled sharply foul.
Mark Ellis with a little different look today with the pant legs up high, showing a lot of the green stirrup, a la Eric Burns and Terrence Long. I didn't notice T today if he has his up high. He normally does.
Got to be up high after his game last night. Ellis pops one. Going after it is Nick Johnson at first base. Long run for Nick. He won't get there. And that lands even out of their reach. And Nick Johnson, a second straight game at first base for Giambi. He's playing more and more at first as Jason now is out with the eye infection, but he has all kinds of problems. Jason has a bad knee. He has a bad hamstring on the other leg. His left knee's bad. His right hammy is bad. And the Yankees gave him a 7-year contract. This is year 2. Ellis and a pooch one down the right field line. Mondesi coming over into a slide. It's a foul ball. Mondesi, a great effort. Look at Ellis. He's already to second base. If that ball drops, he would have had at least a double and maybe more. Both players hustling on this one.
Good effort, and for Mondesi, probably realizing the ball was going to be foul, so he could go to the slide and take a chance. Otherwise, might have had to come up short to prevent the extra bases.
Ellis scored a run last Sunday in the A's 2-0 win. Of course, Hatteberg homered right away, and then Ellis reached on an error by Almonte, came around to score on Tejada's single in the third. The Rocket strikes out Ellis here. One away. Mondesi, Bernie Williams, Hideki Matsui in the outfield. Eric Elmonte checking out the blue skies. He has made 9 errors this year. And again, Derek Jeter will be coming off his injury rehab on Tuesday, so he's got a couple of more games before he goes back to AAA. Zeal at third, Soriano and Nick Johnson on the right side, and Jorge Posada, the 3-time All-Star, catching Clemens. Scott Hatteberg was DHing today, and Rubio Durazo playing at first. New York media was asking Hatteberg if he had any thoughts about Clemens and Zito before the game last night, and he respectfully declined. But, I have no comment. Should be fun. There's a strike. They're former teammates from their Red Sox days in the mid-90s, and before last Sunday, Scott Hatteberg was 1 for 11 with 5 strikeouts against the Rocket, but he got a fastball and took it out, called it a huge highlight. Soriano very nonchalantly. Hatteberg getting down the line slowly with that ankle, though. By Soriano. A little slow to react on that one, but he does make the play. 2-way.
Splitter, and Hatteberg on the ground, and there's the casualness. Fortunately, kept it in front of him instead of the ball going through his legs.
Well, he's got such long legs. Soriano. Willie Randolph works with Soriano, and he's made him a better defender at second. Willie, the real rock on the Yankee infield during the late 70s and the early 80s. Still not a big league manager. Count is 2-0 now on Eric Chavez, who had a big hit last night. In the bottom of the 8th, he smoked a single. They give the A's a 3-2 lead, and they scored 4 more in the 8th to open it up, but it was Chavez who brought in essentially the game winner. Jeff Weaver and Tim Hudson were dueling again last night, but Weaver Torre thought he was dropping his arm down a little bit and getting his pitches up, which he's want to do every now and then.
When he was throwing the slider, the breaking pitch for Weaver, his hand was underneath and not on top with his wrist, and as a result, kind of looping breaking ball. Tim Hudson, 8 innings, just an outstanding performance. Gave up the 2 runs, the 2-run home run to Jason Giambi, and that was it. Weaver picked up the loss.
And at last, a victory for Tim Hudson. He hadn't won since April the 16th when he pitched that sparkler at Safeco. 3 straight no decisions despite pitching extremely well. Well, they get Zito today. They got beaten by Hudson last night, and they get Mark Mulder tomorrow. Welcome to baseball country. Count is 2-2. Joe Torre's got a pretty good staff himself. Chavez gets under this one and skies it. Almonte coming over. Soriano's there. Who wants it? Soriano backpedaling now, makes the catch as the 2 young middle infielders finally got their signal straight. The A's go 1-2-3 in the bottom of the first. 0-0. Zito Clemens 0-0 after 1. Yankees got a hit, a Jorge Posada 2-out double against Barry in the first. Now they'll send up batters 5, 6, and 7 in the second, starting with Hideki Matsui. Matsui brings a 10-game hitting streak into this one tonight. Big curveball from Zito. Les Diaz didn't like it. Matsui extended the hit streak with a infield knock and later picked up a second hit. There's a strike. Yankees had 5 hits in total last night, and 3 of them were on the infield.
Good idea to go back-to-back with a breaking ball. Zito missed with the first one, came right back with it.
And a changeup.
Hitters have a tendency to look fastball after a curveball misses, and that's why changeup is a good pitch, which is what Barry threw in the 1-1 because of the same slot as the fastball.
Ball's behind Matsui, 3-1. Matsui got a single to left field against Barry last Sunday. Matsui often goes the other way. That's his strength. He didn't like that call as we see him react. I think he's letting out all of his emotion here in Major League Baseball. In Japan, they don't react much to umpire calls.
Good frame job by Mark Johnson as he caught the corner.
There's a walk. Well, Matsui Foss leads off the second with a base on balls.
Take a look at the Mercedes keys to the game and a series of victories. 14 straight wins here at the Coliseum. And of course the starting stars, the last 19 games are 10-4 for the A starters, and for the Rocket Man Roger Clemens, keep the run support to 0, which has been the case the last 2 starts. 7 runs plus in his first 5, but last 2 has been shut out. Last Sunday, 2-0, the A's defeating the Rocket and the Yankees.
And the start before that, the previous Tuesday, he was beaten by the Seattle Mariners at the stadium. Count is 1-0. Roger Clemens overall this year is 4-2 with a tidy 2.49 ERA. Yankee people think that the Rocket Man is going to be extra motivated today. He's always highly motivated, but if he wins today and he wins his next start on May the 16th in New York, he could possibly go, if those 2 wins happen, then he would go for win number 300 on May the 21st at Fenway Park in Boston.
Just hope that Pedro's not pitching for Boston.
That can almost be. Pedro went last night.
Yeah.
Could almost be.
Remarkable conditioned athlete.
Mondesi takes it in the inside, and Mark Johnson blocks it to keep Matsui at first. Mondesi took an 0 for last night. Struck out twice against Tim Hudson, and he was 1 for 3 against Zito last Sunday. 2-2 pitch. Matsui not going. Mondesi pulls it foul. And a big crowd today. This one looks to be certainly bigger than last night. And the A's and Yankees had a big crowd last night. In fact, it was the second biggest crowd of the year, bettered only by opening night. They got their thunder sticks today, and they are ready to make some noise. 2-2 pitch to Mondesi is pop foul. It's nice to have some good weather, huh?
Yeah, it's beautiful. But Zito facing Matsui. He faced the first four hitters in the lineup, all righties. A couple of switch hitters, but turned around bat right-handed. And like Hudson last night, a lot of lefties facing Huddy. Matsui, the first lefty that Zito faced today, after facing four righties, and sometimes there's an adjustment and could not throw a strike, especially the outside part of the plate, except the one.
Mondesi again foul. Mondesi lifts this one to left center shallow. Chris Singleton coming in, calls off Burns and makes the catch for the first out.
Well, you love to get powerful hitters out on the front foot. And once again, Zito changed speeds with Mondesi, and all he could do is pop it up.
Number 29, Bubba Trammell.
Check the front side of Mondesi. He gets out right there, and all he has left is the upper body and reaching the outside part of the plate. That's a great sight if you're a pitcher. As Mondesi's strong, 8 home runs already. Off to a great start.
Here's Bubba Trammell. They saw a lot of him last weekend.
And Zito does not want to see the same fly ball he hit last Sunday here at the Coliseum. A little difference in the distance in left field here at Yankee Stadium.
That was a scary moment.
Yeah.
It was first and second and nobody out. And Bubba looked like he had hit a 3-run homer. Zito thought it was gone.
Yeah, he thought he was down 3-2 at the time.
In the bottom of the 7th, but Eric Burns went right to the wall at Yankee Stadium to haul it in. And the next batter, John Flaherty, hit into a 5-4-3 double play that Eric Chavez did a little triple Lutz on. 0-2 pitch up and in to Bubba. Bubba Trammell was 1 for 3 against Zito last Sunday. Had a single to center his first at bat, and he says, I feel pretty good against him. When I'm in the box against Zito, I feel like I can hit this guy. How many have said that? Now it is 2-2 as Matsui opened the second with a walk. Here's the double play we're talking about after Flaherty almost, Trammell almost the home run. Flaherty hit into the 5-4-3 double play. And then his final pitch of the afternoon.
Changeup.
I think that was actually early. That was
earlier,
the 6th. The
right.
big curveball came in the 8th inning when he struck out Jason.
It's funny watching Johnson as he caught the ball. There was nobody out to throw the ball around the infield. He had to throw to second base where Chavez, where the shift was on. That was a strange looking play there.
Now Johnson had a great game defensively last Sunday. Bubba didn't look too good this time. Way out in front, and he strikes out 2 away.
Now Matsui shot up a flare like he was running, and sometimes it can disrupt the concentration of a right-handed hitter.
Batter number 36.
But definitely pulling out on the cambio, the changeup. Watch Matsui there. He's taking off like he's going to steal. And of course, with 2 strikes, it should not upset or affect the hitter. But just out of the corner of your eye, you see the guy take off. And if you're not going to run, maybe do it once to try to get some sort of an idea of the pitcher's move. But lefty, it doesn't bother him. But righty, it does.
Nick Johnson, a late addition into the Yankee lineup. With the left eye infection for Giambi, he was the late scratch, and Nick Johnson goes in the 8-hole to play at first base for Jason. There's a strike. 0-2 right away. Johnson is a patient hitter. He leads the American League in walks, but you can't take too many against Zito. Now what are you going to get on 0-2? Matsui may be running here with 2 strikes and 2 outs. That is foul. Just foul. Got past Chavez somehow.
Boy, slicing. Unbelievable slice. I think that was almost a waste pitch. Mark Johnson not talking to Zito, but watch the slicing action on the baseball. Is it inside out swing and just keeps going. Fortunately, Xavi didn't put a glove on it, and even more so that it was foul. Jim Joyce right there. And he would have yelled foul ball, but he lost his voice last night umpiring behind the plate. He has 3 days before he has to start yelling again.
A little tea and lemon can help him with that. 0-2 pitch to Nick is up and away. Count is a ball and 2 strikes. Matsui opens up with that front foot, angles it towards second base. Johnson takes it, and the count is 2-2.
Well, it looks like Johnson spreads out a little bit more with 2 strikes. Big curve ball. Look how far he spreads and then brings the foot back and able to recognize this curve ball, and very hopeful that it was not a strike. Spreads out, but he does bring his foot back as he gets set up.
Fouls that off to stay at 2-2. He said last year, Ray, he would often drift forward in the batter's box, shifting his weight to his front foot before the pitch even arrived. So he's really trying to stay back. Hits this one to left field. That's a base hit. He's a good hitter. He handles the pitches away very well. Took that pitch the other way. Able to fight it off. So a leadoff walk to Matsui. Now a 2-out single to the lefty, Nick Johnson. And that'll keep it alive for the shortstop, Eric Almonte.
Hit the changeup from Zito, and good hitting. As he did stay back, and when you concentrate on seeing the ball a longer time with 2 strikes, staying back, use the opposite field, good inside-out swing.
Nick Johnson, just 24 years old. Eric Almonte. He is swinging the bat very well. He has struggled defensively at short for Jeter, but offensively, he has done a nice job. Fact, he doubled against Barry Zito last Sunday in New York. Smoked one to left field, and later in the game drew a walk. So he was on base 2 out of 3 times against Zito. Strike.
Last 3 hitters, including Almonte, has gotten ahead 0-2. Struck out Trammell, but a base hit by Johnson.
Using the thunder sticks when the A's are in the field. It'll work as Barry strikes out Almonte on 3 pitches. The Yankees strand 2 and do not score. Miguel Tejada will lead off, and we come back against the Rocket Man. We are back here in Oakland, and they are excited as Barry Zito strikes out Eric Almonte to get out of the second.
Went right back to the curveball. It was so good on the strike 2, so went back for strike 3, and Almonte might have swung at a ball, but had to try to protect with 2 strikes. Good rotation. Curveball by Zito.
Well, Zito had to throw a few more pitches than he wanted in that inning. He threw almost 30, 29 in total. Now he's up to 39 for the game. Roger Clemens threw 17 in the 1-2-3 bottom of the first. Now he'll face the league MVP, Miguel Tejada. It'll be Tejada, Durazo, and Long against the Rocket. Roger later in his career has certainly leaned on that split finger pitch more and more.
Thought in the first inning he used the curveball trying to establish all of his pitches in the first inning, but the splitter is the pitch that he likes to go to, especially with 2 strikes or in a run scoring situation where a hitter might be looking fastball.
Here's the split grip.
Here it comes.
After seeing Dave Stewart throw the forkball against him all those days and nights, he later in his career went to a version of it, the splitter.
Right back with it.
Tejada gets tied up. Still throws that hard. That's an 87-mile-an-hour split-fingered fastball. Incredible that he's been able to maintain the power now into his 40s. And he is a tireless worker. Such a big guy at 6'4", 235 pounds. Big bone, but extremely strong and in great shape. 2-2 pitch. Down low, so Miguel takes it full. Tejada with a big base hit against Clemens last Sunday. Brought in the A's second run of the 2-0 victory. Able to smoke one to center field, and later picked up an infield single against the Rockets. So he had a couple of hits.
It was a high fastball that he hit to center field, stayed right on it, got on top of it, similar to what Chavez did last night against Jeff Weaver.
Fastball here, huh?
Yep.
3-2.
Just putting the thought in the hitter's mind about the splitter. 3-2. Tejada behind the 92-mile-an-hour fastball. But if you're thinking splitter, it's going to slow you down a little bit because you're not going to be as aggressive.
Fastball again. Good battle here. Tejada's making Roger work. Thrown 8 pitches to Miguel. Roger threw 111 pitches last Sunday. He went 7. Tejada had a couple of hits against him in that game, and in their career he is a .304 hitter against the 6-time Cy Young Award winner. 3-2 again. Tejada pops this one to right. Mondesi coming over. Raul's got it, and Roger Clemens has retired the first 4 A's today.
Now take a look at the sequence of pitches to Tejada. Fastball off the mask of Posada, so behind 0-2, then Tejada goes to work. Takes the first fastball outside, one inside of the splitter. And Clemens goes to the splitter, fouls one off. Misses down low, 3-2. He's going to foul off a couple of more to the right side. He's not getting right on the fastball, and even the payoff pitch, not able to drive the fastball and hit it to right field. Incredible.
A lengthy battle, a 9-pitch battle there.
But incredibly, he could not get around on the fastball, and maybe again just thinking about it, because Clemens about 91, 92 with the heater.
94 there. At least on our gun. Count as a ball and a strike on Rubiel Durazo. All but one of his home runs here, all but 3 of his RBIs here in Oakland. The A's, with the win last night, just keep on rolling here at the net. They are a staggering 15-4 at home. 1-2 pitch. And that was quick. Durazo strikes out. So Clemens retires the first 5 A's today. He has struck out 2 of them. Now here's Terrence Long. A memorable moment last night in the bottom of the 8th.
He was just happy to get a base hit off of the lefty hammer, and then when Bernie lost it, and I think Ken Marcus said it best, it's so tough to hit an inside the park home run. You have to hit it as T. Long did, straight at the center fielder. Have him miss it, and the long run for the right and left fielders to come after, backing him up.
He said he gave out between third and home, but the amazing thing, we timed him a little over 15 seconds in going to 360 feet, but he was jogging down the line until he saw the ball skip past Bernie, and then he really kicked it a couple of strides from first base race. So he really, the 90 yards from first to home, he probably did in about 11 seconds or so.
Ron Washington, when asked when he was going to think about sending him, he said when he hit first base. He saw the ball get by, and he started waving his arms, saying, "Come on, T." Some history.
Yeah.
His first.
Very rare. He picks up his 3rd homer here, and now 6 in total on the year. 2-1 pitch. Terrence went to high school with Antoine Smith. Great running back, currently of the Patriots and formerly with the Buffalo Bills, and he said they would often race each other. And T said he was about a 4.5, 4.6 guy in the 40s. Said Antoine Smith beat him once, not even wearing running shoes. And he actually slipped one point, still beat him. Strike 3 called. So Roger Clemens retires the first 6 A's. He strikes out 3 to start the game. And it's 0-0 after 2. One more to go on this homestand tomorrow against the Yankees. The A's then go on a road trip to Detroit and Cleveland, then come home to take on the Twins and the Royals over Memorial Day weekend. Mike Sweeney and the Royals will be here. Join us on Friday, May the 23rd. That is the start of Memorial Day weekend for the first Pyro Spectacular fireworks show of the year, brought to you by the Contra Costa newspapers. 510-762 ball or oaklandathletics.com to pick up your tickets. Alfonso Soriano against Barry Zito. Jumps on the first one, left center field. Warning track. Singleton will back up nearly to the wall and put it away.
It's like he guessed fastball in and got it. Just got under it a little bit too much and hit it to the deepest part of the park. That's a real can of corn at Yankee Stadium, but here got the fans excited a little bit.
That's what makes Soriano's accomplishments even more impressive, Ray. The fact that he is a right-handed hitter. You think of the great Yankees in history, and almost all of them were left-handed hitters, with the exception of Joe D.
That's right.
Of course. Joe DiMaggio, how many home runs would he have hit playing anywhere else but Yankee Stadium? And speaking of Joe, his younger brother, 86-year-old Dom DiMaggio, is here today.
Got a chance to meet him. Sam Spear brought him down on the field.
Here's a 0-2 to Todd Zeile. Zeile grounds one to Durazo at first today. He'll take it himself. 2 outs. And Joe Torre actually brought Dom DiMaggio over, who he met once before, and introduced him to Bernie Williams.
Posada.
Eric Burns was introduced to Dom DiMaggio, and first thing Burns said, "You're from San Francisco, aren't you?" And he told him he was.
Burnsy knows.
Oh, of course. Of course, Burns, the Bay Area, very quickly mentioned that to Dom DiMaggio.
Dom obviously overshadowed by his Hall of Fame older brother, but a terrific outfielder himself. 7-time All-Star with the Red Sox. One time there was talk about trading Joe D for Ted Williams, simply because Joe would hit better at Fenway and Ted would hit better with a short porch in New York. Guess Dom would have had to relocate maybe to right field.
That might have been about as bad as Rocky Colavito for Harvey Keene.
The home run champion for the batting champion.
Trader Lane, Frank Lane.
Oh, 2 to Posada. Just missed. That's Laz Diaz behind the plate today. Let's see where this one was.
Johnson split the outside part of the plate. Just had to move slightly. That might have been enough to cost him. It didn't cost Terrence Long, who had a few words with Laz Diaz following the top of the bottom half of the inning. Or put it this way, Laz Diaz had a few words with T. Long. Walked out to following after Terrence dropped his bat and helmet at home plate. Oops.
Strike 3 called. Posada goes down. 1-2-3 for Barry in the top. When we come back, we'll watch Roger Clemens pitch and talk to Dave Stewart. Greg Papa, Ray Fosse back with you as we watch Roger Clemens duel Barry Zito for a 5th time in their careers. We do it talking to the one and only Dave Stewart, who was good enough to drop by. Stu, good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Well, so what are you doing these days? We haven't seen you since you were working for the Milwaukee Brewers.
Absolutely nothing.
And you love it that way.
Yeah, getting a little workout in, playing a little golf, doing some traveling, and just taking it easy right now.
What's it like to have a baseball season and not go to work?
Outstanding.
Eric Burns pops one foul to Nick Johnson. Your mom's good. I know you in the middle of the year last year you had a little problem with that, but she's good.
Yeah, she's better. Trying to get her appetite going. She had a couple of surgeries dealing with her colon, and so she just hadn't regained her appetite. She had lost a lot of weight, but she's doing better, much better.
And she lives here in the Bay Area?
Nope,
She down south?
I brought her down to San Diego.
That's right.
She's living close to me now. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, I remember last time we saw you, she was not in the best of health. Good to hear it.
Oh, man, she scared us.
Chris Singleton. I saw you downstairs, and you were just in the Yankee clubhouse. And I said, "You say hi to Roger." And you didn't even know Roger was pitching. This is just purely coincidence that you're here today.
I swear.
The day the Rockets on them.
I did not plan this.
I think the A's did, though, Ray.
You might
They
be
were
right.
smart.
Well, I think, Stu, as you explained downstairs, Tim Hudson received your Dave Stewart Community Service Award, and he happened to pitch last night, so it had to be today. And coincidentally, it's the
Roger's
Rocket Man
day.
on the mound.
Get me in trouble.
Saw you down at diamond level as Singleton lifts one to left center. Well struck. Bernie Williams back. Matsui back, and Matsui can't get it. Singleton to second base. Hideki Matsui's first engagement with the jagged edge here.
I saw Bernie running as if he knew he had no chance to get it. But Singleton going opposite field against the fastball from Roger Clemens. And Matsui, he had more room than he thought. I think he concentrated too much on the wall on the ball instead of looking to where he was and how close he was to the wall, but jumped and didn't have to. If he had just kept running alongside the wall, he would have caught it. So a good break for the A's.
Place is a little different since you pitched here, huh?
The place is a lot different since I pitched here. It was a little bit more hitter friendly.
Yeah, but with you, it wouldn't have made any difference with that forked ball that you threw so well.
But the confidence builder was good.
There's the jagged edge. Good shot of the Coliseum and how it's changed.
And a little less spacious out there, 362 in the power alleys.
Well, it's a different ballpark.
Oh,
And Mark Johnson gets drilled by Roger Clemens.
yeah, the ball just sailed on him, up and in. Johnson, though, just puts the bat down and heads to first base. Got him on the in.
Hit him in a good spot. Or is there such a thing, Rick?
No, not at 92 miles an hour. There's never a good spot.
Sounds like a pitcher talking there. I hit you in a good spot at 92 miles per hour. Roger's been known to hit a few in his career.
Stu, even though you had a lot of success when Roger was pitching, whether it's Boston or... How impressed are you with, as long as he has pitched and his physical to the point that he can pitch at 40 the way he does right now?
I mean, he's a freak. It's just like Nolan Ryan pitching into his mid-40s. I mean, it's just unbelievable that he's still throwing the ball as well as he is, as hard as he is, and he's still winning baseball games.
With someone who throws as hard as Clemens, or you mentioned Nolan Ryan, who are also good fastball, what's the key to be able to pitch that way?
Well, I think definitely conditioning. I mean, you got to keep your legs strong. If you keep your legs strong, it takes a lot of pressure off of the arm. And he has to have a good work regimen. Otherwise, he wouldn't be doing what he's doing at the pace that he's doing. He's 3 games from winning, 300 baseball games.
Ellis pops one. Almonte out to shallow left. Infield fly rule called way out there, but Almonte makes the catch for the second out. Yeah, Roger 3 away from 300, but he'd have like 310 if he didn't match up with you. Look at our Pepsi spotlight. You just owned the guy. I mean, it's just amazing. Your very first game as a member of the Oakland A's, national TV, July the 7th of '86. Also Tony La Russa's first game, and you beat Roger Clemens.
Roger Clemens,
What was it about that matchup that brought the best out in you?
I'm not really sure. I think it had a lot to do with, being released in Philadelphia, and actually the first half of the season pretty much just sitting here waiting for an opportunity to pitch. And with it being Tony's first game, I just wanted to have a good showing. I didn't really care that it was Roger on the mound, and I didn't care that it was national television, which Tony made sure I knew both of those things before I took the mound. Yes, he did. I just wanted to have an opportunity to come out and pitch and show that I was worthy of being in a starting rotation at that time.
You guys had 8 total matchups, and the A's won all 8 games. You were 8-0 with an ERA of 1.8. The Rocket was 0-7. with a 3.69. But you recall not the first one, July of '86, but the one you remember is the 1-0 game here, August the 30th of 1988. Why is that one special?
Well, I mean, they were all special, but that game in 1988, I mean, I think after a while you start to establish momentum for your ball club. You start to establish yourself against a guy like Roger. If you can get an edge, any kind of edge, then you have to take it. And I think I started to establish that for myself and for the ball club. Tony, he started mixing rotation. You know, sometimes I'd go 4 days rest, sometimes I'd go 5 days rest. But if Roger was pitching, he'd find a way that I'd pitch against him. But that ball game, I believe we beat them 1-0.
1-0.
And it was a ball game that we won on a squeeze play, if I'm not mistaken. And I mean, that was the matchup of matchups. It's one of the best ball games I've ever been involved with. I know I pitched a no-hitter in '90, but for me, that was the best pitching matchup that I've ever been involved with.
Count is 2-2 on Roger's former teammate in Boston, Scott Hatterberg, and Hatterberg strikes out, and that will be the inning. You're going to hang around for one more half inning?
One more
half. Visit with the great Dave Stewart. The death stare is back, and this could be Roger's final time ever on the Coliseum mound. Outfitting. And he got a fastball there on 2-0, and he takes it. Grounds 1 to Alfonso Soriano. So Roger Clemens has a tidy 1-2-3-4. The A's only have one hitter, down 1-0. This is Major League Baseball at its finest. 1-0 Yankees. Clemens leads Zito. Aflac trivia question now, looking for the American League pitchers who won back-to-back Cy Young Awards. Denny McLain in '68, and tied with Mike Cuellar in '69. Palmer in '75 and '76. And Roger Clemens did it twice in his career. '86, he was the MVP, came back at '87 with another Cy Young, and then with the Blue Jays, 2 years with Toronto, he won back-to-back Cys. And the guy that he had replace him as the Red Sox ace, Pedro Martinez, won back-to-back Cys after coming over from the Expos, where he won one in the National League. Ground ball to Miguel Tejada, and on to first and Durazo. And Nick Johnson is retired, one away.
And I just wonder if the Red Sox had given Clemens the money. I don't know if he'd stayed. It was just something about the little clash that they had between the front office and Clemens, and you know, he still wouldn't have had a championship ring either if he'd stayed in Boston. Went on to Toronto and now with the Yankees, and close to 300. Remarkable pitcher.
Yeah, I agree with you. There was a sentiment in the front office that they wanted Roger to move on. And Roger Clemens, those last 4 years in Boston, was, I don't want to say he was a mediocre pitcher, but his one-loss record hovered right around 500. '93, he was 11-14. He was hurt a lot. Those '93, '94, '95, and '96 years. '96, he was 10-13 his final year with the Red Sox.
I think Dave Stewart said it best: to win games, pitch and catch the ball, but you also have to have some offense, score some runs. And when a pitcher goes out and there's not a lot of run support, it makes it very difficult to pitch and not worry about every pitch being so critical.
Almonte gets ahead 3-1. That's Reggie Jackson there in the background. All the stars are out today. Dave Stewart, Dom DiMaggio, Reggie back for his second straight day. Right, come back here, Almonte. He was heading to first with ball 4, but count is full, says Las Diaz.
Well, they should have known it's the same pitch that Diaz called on him for the first strike. Pitchers like to get that call. Pitch that hitters can't hit.
There is ball 4. Zito comes in, walks Almonte again. He walked Almonte one time last week. Let's see where this last one was.
Looks like he hit Mark Johnson's mitt, framed it in. And again, it had to cross the plate to get to where Johnson was set up.
Well, you don't like to walk the number 9 hitter in this lineup, especially with Almonte in there ahead of Soriano. A's have just gotten this guy out. Last 2 weekends, he has not gotten a hit. And that is flirting with disaster. He is 0 for 18 against A's pitching. Struck out his first time up, flied out to center. The A's have had a brilliant game plan how to pitch him, and the pitchers have executed it perfectly.
It's like Laz Diaz's strike zone is to the outer part of the plate, whether it's lefty or righty, where he has to look across the angle over the left shoulder of Mark Johnson. Inside fastball, inside pitches, a little more critical.
Everything's inside to this guy. He stands right on top of the plate, but look at how far he is up in the box. Look at his front foot. You can't be any more up in the box. Not a great swing here. Off balance. Coming in is Singleton, and they're going to get Soriano out again. He was 0 for 19 against the A's the last 2 weekends. Two away.
Another great changeup. Again, watch the front side, the left side as he goes forward. And there's the fool part. He has nothing left in his swing when he gets out on his front foot that much. But that's just a looking fastball, sitting on fastball, and Zito throws it just like it's a fastball. It's 77-mile-an-hour changeup.
Todd Zeile now. Zeile 0 for 2 today. Fly to left, grounded out to Durazo, and he was 0 for 4 against Zito. Last Sunday had a big home run though the previous Friday night off of Ted Lilly. The only game the Yankees won. They beat the A's the first game last weekend 5-3. A's came back and won the final 2 in New York and won last night. The A's have beaten this team 3 straight times. Zito falls behind again now, 3-0. He walked Almonte for his second walk of the afternoon. On deck, Posada, and Posada's going to bat with 2 on. Second walk of the inning by the American League Cy Young Award winner. Nice to have that award, but you haven't arrived till you get your own bobblehead, Dalday, and Barry's going to have one of those coming up in a couple of weekends. 2 weeks from tomorrow, May 25th, Memorial Day Sunday, the first 15,000 will receive a Barry Zito Cy Young bobblehead courtesy of Pepsi. A's will take on the Royals. For ticks, OaklandAthletics.com or 510-762-BALL. Get almost any item you want here at the Coliseum, but you can't get a Barry Zito bobblehead doll until Memorial Day Sunday.
Missed with 4 fastballs outside to Zeile. First pitch curveball to Posada. Good pitch. Mark Johnson went out to talk to him and forced him to follow through. Something they did not do. The 4 pitches outside to Todd Zeile.
You're just joining us wondering why Posada's hitting here in the 3rd spot in the batting order. Well, Jason Giambi is out of the Yankee lineup today with a staph infection in his left eye. It's actually now creeping into his right eye, his front eye. But he is left eye dominant, he said. Posada, first time in his career, is hitting out of the number 3 hole. Probably no coincidence it's against Barry Zito as Posada hit that huge home run against Barry here. You didn't remember that?
Oh, do I? Something else happened in that game later, wasn't it?
The play. The flip.
But the fastball inside that did not get inside, and Posada turned on it and 1-0.
What a great matchup that was. Zito against Messina. Posada lifts this one to left center. High drive, and that one's going out again. A 3-run homer by Posada.
Told you not to mention it.
4-0 Yankees.
2 walks in the inning. Almonte and Zito. And they go inside again, just like they tried to do before, and did not get it in. Well, you would think that if you're making a mistake earlier and Vernon Williams in there, you got to either move off the plate more or stop doing it.
Well, Zito walks 2 men in the inning. He walks Almonte, and then with 2 outs, he walks Zeal, and Posada makes him pay. Bernie Williams scored the Yankees' first run with a homer, and now he singles past the diving Mark Ellis. Rick Peterson, the A's pitching coach, will come out of the dugout to talk to Zito before he works to Matsui. Barry up to 90 pitches now. Barry not nearly as sharp today as he was last Sunday, and Posada makes him pay here. Foss, our Chevy drive of the game.
Left it right in the middle of the plate. Good swing, Posada. I mean, he's got a history of hitting mistake fastballs, especially against the A's, and big one there with three runs and 2 gifts with the 2 walks. 3 walks by Zito today, and 2 have come around to score.
Well, Barry's missed with a couple of fastballs today, and the Yankee hitters they don't miss misses very much. Bronx Bombers doing just that. Bernie Williams got a fastball, and a little too much of the plate, should have been more inside. He homered in the 4th, and now Jorge Posada with a damaging 3-run blow, and Clemens has a 4-0 lead. Matsui takes a strike. 1 ball, or pardon me, no balls and 2 strikes. Barry approaching 100 pitches. He threw 115 Sunday and 8 in New York. Oh, 2 pitch. He's not seeing Mike Messina on either of these weekends. It's no picnic, obviously, getting Pettit and Clemens and Weaver, but Messina off to the 7-0 start. Zito strikes out Matsui, but Jorge Posada with a 3-run blow to give the Yankees a 4-0 lead. Jorge Posada unfortunately gets Barry Zito again. This time a 3-run blow in the top of this 5th. Well, the A's now are down 4 against Roger Clemens. They only have 1 hit against Roger this afternoon. Terrence Long, Eric Burns, and Chris Singleton, who picked up that hit, are scheduled in. T. Long took strike 3 his first time up today. Now there's a ball and a strike. Mark Johnson and Barry Zito talk it over. Of course, the 2 walks preceding didn't help, but Posada able to loft a fastball. Posada, what a start he is off to. He's got 9 home runs now. There's a strike.
In this spring, they actually talked about trading him.
Posada?
Yeah, there's mention to trade him, and maybe because of the contract they gave him, but it was actually, I read that they were at least talking about it, but.
Were they going to get a catcher back?
I don't know.
Ground ball to Almonte. And he throws out Terrence Long, 1 away. Sports Day just beginning here on Fox Sports Net. Stick around. Later tonight, the great Landon Donovan, who we had a chance to meet here at today's game, is going to be in action in MLS soccer for the San Jose Earthquakes. They take on the Chicago Fire. That'll be tonight at 7 o'clock right here on Fox Sports Net. Landon Donovan actually got into an A's uniform last year. Eric Burns lifts one to left field. Hideki Matsui back to the wall, and that one is gone. That's gone, right?
No,
off the wall or no?
Off the top of the wall.
Top of the wall. Did not hit over the wall, but off the top. Burns just missed it. The jagged edge got him, the 15-foot wall.
It looked like it came down right on top of the wall. Great swing. Similar to the one he put on against David Wells, but just to the right. 362, hit straight down, right at the edge. I mean, you talk about close. Wow.
Let's see if the A's can bring that run around now. Chris Singleton picked up a double of his own to left center field his first time up. So Burns picks up just the A's second hit of the game against Roger Clemens. See if the A's can come right back in Roger's shutdown inning. Singleton being patient. Singleton has done a very nice job offensively this year. Had a lot of big hits. It's ahead of Roger 2-0. He hit a ground ball last night to bring in a run after Burns tripled in a run. Let's see Roger after he makes the pitch. He doesn't even look and see. He wants to talk to Posada.
I thought it was gone.
He's going to find out. Wait a minute. It did not go over the wall. I thought for a moment it may have hit over and come back, or hit a concrete where Ordonez homer went here Thursday afternoon, but the very top of the wall.
That would indicate he thought it was gone, because normally you would watch it to see if you're going to be backing up a base or two someplace. Pitchers know.
He got a break because that jagged edge will angle the other way, and there's the ledge on top, almost the exact spot where Burns hit the ball. So he just missed the home run by a foot or two. Not only in height, but if he hit it down the fence a little bit, a little bit closer there. 2-2. Chris Singleton to right field. Mondesi back. Burns will tag and go to third, but Singleton is retired, one away. Now the A's got to make sure that Burns comes around to score here. 2 away. Now there's 2 outs. Pardon me, I said 1 out, but Long bounced to short to open the inning. Clemens threw 4 2/3. Well, it's going to be a 2-out knock the A's are looking for. Otherwise, Clemens gets out of here unscored upon. Mark Johnson, last time up, felt the rocket heat. Took it well, though. Just flipped the bat and ran down to first. Didn't even look at him.
It's not going to rub it either. Never want to rub it. You want to cry, but you don't want to rub.
You can't cry either, though. That'd be worse.
Well, inside you can. You want to scream, too.
Thundersticks have been a little quiet today.
Yes, they have.
Band is trying to give us some rhythm on the afternoon, but he's being shut out. Got to have a little offense to make those Thundersticks work. Those Thundersticks, they annoyed the Yankees a bit last year when they were down south. Johnson to left field. Matsui coming in will make the catch, and the A's will strand Burns at third. Clemens gets a break. Burns just missed a homer. 4-0 after 5. Greg Papa, Ray Fosse back with you. Big crowd today. And this Saturday afternoon, and the Yankees lead it by a score of 4-0. Young man getting possibly his first ever and final ever look at Roger Clemens. He'll be able to watch Barry Zito for years and years. Roger with 297 victories against Barry Zito, who has 52 in his career.
And as he said, 1/6 of the way.
Barry's going to have a birthday coming up in a couple of days. In 3 days, he'll be 25. Among pitchers under 25, Barry has the most career victories. He has 52. If he averages 15 wins the next 17 years, he's got it. Ground ball to Chavez. Two-time Gold Glover throws out Raul Mondesi for the first out here of the top of the 6th inning. See what's on tap this week on the Best Damn Sports Show period. Great lineup. Gary Sheffield will be dropping by the set. Steve Young, great former 49er, and the new UCLA head basketball coach Ben Howland will be appearing. So on the Best Damn Sports Show weeknights at 8 and again at 10 here on Fox Sports Net. And Ace Baseball will be sprinkled in on the menu. We're going to have all of the games on the coming road trip. Those are going to be in Detroit and in Cleveland. For a 6-game road trip. This one is hit well by Bubba. Into the wall. Burns goes. This one he got. Did he get him? What a catch by Burns, this time way over the wall. He got his whole arm over the wall. What a catch. Bubba Trammell now twice has come oh so close to taking Zito out. But Burnsy got him both times, and this time, Foss, miraculously, everybody up at the net.
Change up. Bubba thought he had it. Burnsy timed it perfectly. Jump, big boy, jump, and keep it. You could tell right there. He knew he had it. That's a great catch. What a great catch. But timing it perfectly where the wall does not stop him. Look at this. Time, 1, 2, 3, and then jump. Jump straight up. That's a great catch.
Wow. That's one of the best we've seen here ever. Brilliant.
It's like a high jumper. How it goes over and then kind of brings it back. Oh, wow.
What a tremendous athlete he is. And how much better has he gotten in the outfield? And he got back on that wall, lined it all up, perfectly timed it. That is remarkable. Meanwhile, 3-1. Barry falls behind Nick Johnson. The Yankees have hit 2 homers today for all 4 of their runs and just missed a third. Another walk now. Johnson will draw the 2-out walk as we got to take another look at this. The Eric Burns rob. This is your Carl's Jr. in your face on Bubba Trammell.
Great concentration, and without looking at the wall, he knew how close he was to be able to jump straight up and go over the wall. And Jim Joyce out to make the call, hustling down the line.
Well, Burns made a great play, but Rick Peterson's got to be a bit concerned because Zito was taken over the wall. It was kept in the ballpark by Burns' brilliance. And then Barry follows that up with a walk to Nick Johnson. He walked 2 in the 5th before the home run by Posada. And now Barry's walked 4 today. Zito's over 100 pitches. Chad Bradford is the first A's reliever to get up today. We're in the top of the 6th. Yankees have the righties stacked up now. Eric Almonte, the batter, followed by top of the order and Soriano and then Zeal. It was a walk to Almonte that got Zito in trouble in the 5th. He got the first out. Nick Johnson grounded out to Miguel, and then Almonte drew a walk. Came around to score on the Posada homer after Todd Zeal drew a 2-out walk. Strike. 0-2. He didn't like that call.
Well, at least 3 of the last 4 strikes, 2 on the last at bat, have been down in the lower part of the strike zone, and now Monty does not think so.
Roger Clemens checking out the A's batting order. Ellis, Hatterberg, Chavez will be the trio that he will see to start. Going over his mechanics. Strike 3 called. Almonte's little stroll didn't help him with Laz Diaz. Barry gets out of the inning unscored upon thanks to Eric Burns' brilliance. Backhanded, climbing over the wall. What a play to rob Bubba Trammell. Still 4-0 Yankees after 5½. Roger Clemens throws ball 1 to Mark Ellis to start the bottom of the 6th. The Yankees on a solo homer by Bernie Williams and a 3-run blow by Jorge Posada. And a 2-hit shutout by Roger Clemens lead 4-0. Mark Ellis, Scott Hatterberg, Eric Chavez, the top 3 in the batting order, will try the rocket here. Ellis has struck out and popped to short today. 2-0 pitch. There's a strike.
And a good strike to take. A's need base runners. First 2 out of the strike zone. Take a strike or 2.
Try to get on base ahead of Chavez and Tejada. Strike. Roger battles back after going 2-0. Ellis grounds one right to Almonte. A little high, but Nick Johnson is there, and that is the first out. In our What's on Tap bottom of the 6th. Don't forget to send us an email question to Mr. Fossa here. What's on Tap at foxsports.net, like Kimberly did in Fremont. Why are there so many older stars still dominating? Barry Bonds, obviously.
It's all about the money. You dominate, and I don't care what age you are, the money is there. But I think more than anything, as Stu talked about the conditioning programs, and Roger Clemens at 40.
Not just baseball.
Yeah.
Karl Malone, he wants to play. He's going to play again next year, even though Stockton is retired. Rich Gannon. Soriano flips it again, a little casually. I think Johnson gave him a little look there, but Soriano got enough on that ball. What are you doing there? But he did beat Hatterberg for the second out.
Scott Hatterberg wishes he could run just a little bit faster. He might have been able to beat out a slow hit ball to Soriano, but the right ankle still bothered him a bit. But I think that the love of the sport. You know, when you have players play as long as some of the guys are, you have to love the game. You know, whatever sport it is, and to go through the conditioning more than anything. I mean, it becomes a year round. The older you get, the harder it is.
That's a base hit for Chavez. And I think that's the key, the conditioning. These guys are able to stay in top condition much later in life. Before, it was thought that your peak years as an athlete were late 20s, early 30s, and then around 32, 33, you began to see your skills fall off. That's not the case at all. Some of these guys are better now. Rich Gannon's a better player now than he ever was earlier in his career, where the mental ability matches up and the physical skills are still strong. Now, what does that say about Boomer Wells?
Tell you what, I saw him as I was coming upstairs. He was coming out of the weight room soaking wet, and he wasn't pouring water on himself. He was working hard and riding the bike. And you know, guys realize that this is a great way of living. I mean, it's a great job to have, and the longer you can play, you know, Stu is, I think, an exception where you say, well, I'm doing nothing and enjoying it, but you know, if you still have the ability to play, and all it takes is a little condition, you know, why not? You know, I give him all the credit in the world for wanting to do it.
David Wells just got back from his native San Diego, his Little League coach. Almost a surrogate father to David Wells. Passed away the other day at age 61, and Wells flew down to be with him. But the Yankees have essentially two 40-year-old starting pitchers. Roger is 40, will be 41 in August, and David Wells in 10 days will turn the big 40. Wells wants to pitch next year. In fact, he's trying to go with the Yankees into picking up his option. He has said, if I'm going to pitch somewhere, whether it's the Yankees or I'll go to the Mets or the Red Sox, the Yankees' two biggest rivals on the East Coast. He wants to come back for an 18th year next year, and we'll see if Steinbrenner brings him back in pinstripes. Tejada, that's a base hit the other way. Chavez to third on Mondesi. So the A's had 2 hits entering the inning, and they doubled that with 2 outs. Chavez up the middle, and now Tejada the other way.
They're trying to get a little 2-out magic going. Tejada with a pitch up and away from him, not trying to pull it. Good hands, good hand positioning. And in his 3-hit game a couple of days ago, one of them was to right field, similar location with a fastball. And after Rizzo continues to get a fastball that he could do something with, could make it an interesting game.
He's getting some better swings against Clemens here later in the game. Eric Burns just missed a home run in the previous inning. Now a couple of singles. Mel Stottlemyre, the Yankee pitching coach, is out as the Yankees get Sterling Hitchcock, who was pitching very well. Really probably better suited to be a starter, but he is doing a nice job in the bullpen. He gets up with all those A's lefty hitters lurking, Durazo and Long being a couple. Be back tomorrow here for Mother's Day. First 7,500 women will receive a Ralph Lauren Romance makeup bag courtesy of Macy's. Great pitching matchup again tomorrow. Mark Mulder against Andy Pettit. 2 of the best lefties in baseball will duel at 105. So get your tickets on Mom's Day. OaklandAthletics.com or call 510-762-BALL. Durazo.
87 pitches for Clemens, and Mel Stottlemyre might have seen something to get bullpen activity already. Maybe it's called high fastballs, knowing that the way the ball's carrying today, that could be a danger sign.
I think you saw back-to-back hits.
Yeah.
Rogers not pitched a complete game in 3 years. Not had one since May of 2000. And he's not pitched a shutout in 4 years. Durazo trying to come through with Eric Chavez at third base and Miguel Tejada over at first base. The A's down 4-0. Straight back foul. Zito kind of lost in his thoughts today. Not happy with a couple of fastballs that he misplaced to Bernie and Posada. 1-2 pitch. Durazo with a swing and a miss. He is 0 for 3 today with a couple of strikeouts. He's got a couple of 2-out hits off of Roger, but don't score again. 4-0 after 6. Well, they are done with the Z's today as Barry Zito is done after going 6 full, struck out 7, but he also walked 4 in the game. The A's will make a Nextel direct connect to the bullpen and bring in the submariner Chad Bradford, who will make his 16th appearance of the year.
And the first hitter is Soriano. Soriano's got to be thinking, no, not this guy.
A good pitch came in tight, just missed with ball 1. No matter who the A's have put out there, Soriano's not been able to do anything. 0 for 3 today against Zito. 0 for 19 against the A's. And that's changing speed, just kind of waves at the frisbee there. 1 ball and a strike. 0 for 19 this weekend and last weekend against the A's.
Bradford with a different umpiring crew going back. Now he's slowing down. But remember his last appearance, he was told to stop working so quickly and come to some sort of a pause out of the stretch. First 2 pitches to Soriano, he quickened his delivery.
Missed. 3-1 to Soriano, who was being a little more patient this year, drawing a few more walks. But he likes to swing the bat. Great hands, very quick wrists. Rifles one foul. There's the souvenir. Everybody's healthy down there. Soriano, Zeal, and Posada scheduled. Of course, the Yankees have all those left-handed hitters they can bring into the game at some point. Got him again. Soriano 0 for 4 today and 0 for 20 against the A's this year.
Well, here it comes. He got it again. The old frisbee upshoot. And he just could not get on top. Tried to lift it. Couldn't get up high enough.
That's been the key. They're making him bring his hands up a little bit, pitching him a little high in the zone. Now Zeal.
If you happen to hear Robert Wan on Thursday night, he had Bradford,
At the Pyramid.
yeah, and Tim Hudson.
Redneck Jeopardy or something like that?
Yeah, but did you hear when Robert asked the 3 pitchers what their high school jobs were? And Chad Bradford's he worked on a cricket farm.
A what farm?
You heard it. A cricket farm.
Farm?
They raised crickets.
Really?
Yeah, for fish bait. And straight face, he said, yeah, you had the crickets and then you feed them little pieces of grain and you fatten them up and use them for bait. He said, in Mississippi, you go to any store and you're going to see
That's pretty common there?
crate of crickets.
Wow. Todd Zeal in foul ground, retired by Durazo, 2 away.
Have him tell you about it at one time. Straight face, and he was serious. That's what he did when he was in high school.
Got a doubleheader, Foss, coming up. Giants and Braves, rematch of last year's playoff series. Kirk Reeder will be on the mound for the Giants. They won last night in Atlanta. He's going to see the Braves. Got the closest major league team to Mississippi? I think so, huh?
Probably, yeah.
Well, those guys, we'll talk cricket farming when we get to. Actually, they're coming here. Braves are coming here. You know, Hudson's excited about facing the Braves. There's a strike to Posada. Is now going to bat from the other side.
I'm looking forward to seeing that young Julio Franco again.
Old Julio Franco.
Yeah.
Huh?
Somebody said he's 42, and he said, no, I'm 45.
Could still hit.
Yes, he
no matter
can.
how old he is. Rogers not sitting down today. What's going on? Got a bad back or something? Or he's been standing the whole game on the mound or in the dugout.
Like a little kid going to his baseball game. He's got his mitt, put it on his handlebars, and ride his bike. And of course, when he got this home run, that helped Clemens. A little breathing room. A 3-run home run by Posada, his battery mate.
That's past Chavez off his glove. It's a fair ball ricocheting into foul ground. Eric Burns has to run all the way over from left to pick it up. Posada will stop at second base. How is Chavez? Eric Chavez is hurt. A finger on the left hand. Larry Davis comes out of the A's dugout immediately along with Ken Maka. The glove hand, they'll take off the glove. And he wears under the fielding glove. Let's see where it got him.
Another slicing drive, and I don't know if it got him with the ball or It's a left-hand glove. No, it got him on the outside of the left hand.
Yeah.
As he went after the ball.
Which finger is it?
It's the middle finger, the meat right below the pinky finger. Yeah. Yeah, you just pointed
a little
to
bit
it.
further down.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a finger, but just beneath it. Let's see.
Well,
again.
watch his face. As soon as he dives through the ball, tries a backhand, and
It's the glove hand.
it's the glove hand, and ow.
Never seen him react with that kind of pain before.
Okay, put your hand out.
No, nice. Well, I would imagine it's a good thing that it's the meaty part of the hand a little further down and not the fingers
or the bone and the wrist.
He's coming out of the game now. He's going to walk directly into the A's dugout. Frank Menachino. A's are going to take no chance with this. Actually, Jason Grabowski. Menachino was stirring, but Grabowski is going to come in, a lefty batter, and he'll play at third base.
Lines over your attention, please. That way, third base. Number 23, Jason Grabowski.
Eric Chavez going to walk right up the tunnel back into the A's clubhouse, and the doctors will meet him there. So this is not the way he was hoping to get into this series, but obviously Jason Grabowski is thrilled to be facing the New York Yankees growing up in Connecticut. I saw Frankie. He's going for his glove. He's getting ready to come in, and then there was Grabowski. Yep, sit down, Frankie. He'll be ready in case later on, but it is Grabowski who will get in here. And Grabowski, born in New Haven, lives in Clinton, Connecticut. Grew up a Yankee fan. It's just happenstance. Steve Vucinich gave him number 23, but he was a huge Don Mattingly fan growing up, and he got a pinch hit appearance last weekend at Yankee Stadium for Ken Maka.
Yeah, he said he doesn't have that much pull to request a number as a rookie, but Luce is always thinking.
So Jorge Posada is on second base after the double that glanced off of Eric Chavez. So a big game for Posada. He was moved into the number 3 hole because of the left eye infection for Jason Giambi. First time he's ever hit third, and he has had a huge game. A couple of doubles now on top of the biggest single hit of the game, his 3-run homer. Bernie Williams got the Yankees their first run with a solo homer in the 4th. There's a strike. Another one. Bradford pitching well.
No comebacker. Pitch that Bradford used last Friday at Yankee Stadium. Robin Ventura, first pitch was excellent. Could not find it after that, though. Seems to be working for him today.
Bernie to right field. That'll drop in for a base hit. Terrence Long going to throw home. Posada to play at the plate. It's offline. Throw down to second by Johnson. Bernie safe. He got around the tag of Tejada. The ball beat him, but Bernie eludes the tag. Posada, again the antagonist, scores from second on the base hit by Bernie Williams, and the Yankee lead expands to 5-0.
Johnson knew no play at the plate. Quickly to second base, but a good smart slide. Throw to the shortstop side, and good call by the umpires. Bernie got around the tag. If the throw is on the bag or to the first base side of the bag, been a different story.
A's are going to walk Hideki Matsui intentionally and go after Raul Mondesi.
4 of the 5 runs after 2 outs. 3-run home run by Posada with 2 outs. And now 2 quick outs. And a double and a single.
And the 3rd and 4th hitters in the Yankee lineup today have done all the damage. Posada has driven in 3, and Bernie Williams has driven in 2. Now Frank Thomas goes into the 2nd hole for the first time ever. Has a huge game against the A's on Wednesday night. Now Jorge Posada on Saturday afternoon goes into the 3 hole for the first time in his career, and he has had a huge game himself. Not only what he's doing offensively, but he's catching a Roger Clemens shutout. Mondesi hitless. He's flied to center, bounced to short, bounced to 3rd. Mike New gets up in the A's bullpen, and he begins to throw. He appeared at Yankee Stadium last weekend. Yankees now 7 hits, scoring their 5 runs. The A's only have 4 hits off of Clemens. Mondesi way out in front. Mondesi trying to put his career back. He had a horrible season last year. And he is a great talent. Hit only .224 with the Blue Jays, then was just given away to the Yankees, and Toronto was forced to pay a big chunk of his salary. And then right after he got to New York, he had a collision with an outfield wall. And just did not have a good year. At a career low .232 last year in both Toronto and New York combined. 2-1 pitch, strike.
And we talked about conditioning before. Between a little, maybe a diet and conditioning program, he is in excellent shape now.
Says he took off 20 pounds from last October when the Yankees were bounced from the playoffs by the Angels.
Well, if a player could just go in a clubhouse after a game, get showered and leave without touching the post-game meal, probably be a big advantage. Although the meals are so good, it's tough to pass.
And they've made him increasingly healthy over the years, have they not?
Sure they have. Except for the big chocolate cake that's off to the side.
But it's a low-cal cake.
Yeah, sure.
Low-cal chocolate cake. Runners will take off on the 3-2 pitch. That's ball 4. Well, Bradford got the first 2 outs of the inning. And Posada hit the ball off of Chavez's glove for the double. Williams singled him in. Intentional walk to Matsui. Now the unintentional walk to Mondesi. Bubba is going to be called back here. Bubba Trammell, his spot in the order due up. He's pulled back, and they're going to bring in a guy who has a good career track record with the bases loaded. Robin Ventura. 16 career slams, is tied for sixth all time. He is tied with some pretty good players: Babe Ruth, Hank Aaron, Dave Kingman, also 16 grand slams, former A and a former Yankee. Lou Gehrig did the most all time with 23 grand slams. Robin, one of the 8 in history to hit 2 slams in a single game. Did that with the White Sox back in November of '95. Nobody's sitting down today. Maka's up, facing Roger Clemens. Is something wrong with his back or something? He's not sitting today.
Maybe just anxious to pitch.
Oh, there he is, stretching out. Here's Ventura. hit right to Miguel Tejada, and he'll fire on to first. Robin Ventura doesn't do much here with the bases loaded. The Yankees get one more in the Bernie Williams single, scoring Posada 5-0, bottom 7. A's are down 5-0 as we see the A's come to bat in the bottom of the 7th following the 7th inning stretch. The Oakland A's are planning their annual Community Fund Golf Classic. Goes to a great cause. The A's Community Fund, they do such great work around all of the Bay Area. And for $400 you can be a part of it. Entry fee, tee prizes, lunch, dinner, and more to play a round of golf with Ken Mock and the A's up in the Napa Valley. That'll be Monday, June the 16th. The A's Community Fund Golf Classic. And we're seeing a classic one today. Roger Clemens trying to move a big step closer to becoming the 21st pitcher in baseball history to win 300 games. Roger at 297 career victories. Begins the bottom of the 7th with a 5-0 lead. 1-0 to Terrence Long, a fastball strike. Roger made his debut May the 15th, 1984, almost exactly now 19 years ago. We came up with the Boston Red Sox. Greg Maddux, possibly, and then Tom Glavine, maybe. A long way to go, though. And there's no doubt, Ray, that winning 300 games has become much more difficult to do now than say 500 home runs, which Rafael Palmeiro now is 1 homer away from joining that club. Terrence Long lifts one to center. Bernie Williams back towards right center. He's got it for the first out of the inning. Well, Eric Burns has had a busy week. Here, Maglio Ordonez on Wednesday pulled it back, held him to a triple, and then Bubba Tramble, he just flat out rocked. What a catch.
And 2 almost identical plays within 3 days. He made sure, when he robbed Trammell, that he got the ball in the webbing and he kept it in it, closed it. Maybe even reduced the size of the glove to make sure he had the feel of the ball in the webbing.
Whether it's left or center field, can also play right, obviously. Burns gotten a lot better. Yanks this one down the line, and that one's in the corner and fair. Off the base of the wall, Matsui will hold Burns at second base. So Eric has his second double of the game. He is 2 for 3 against Clemens.
He is so strong, takes a breaking ball, kind of one-hands it, and almost hit it out of the park. Again, this one at the bottom of the wall, right down in the corner.
Center fielder, Chris Singleton.
That's how close he came to having 2 home runs. The first one off the top of the wall in his last at bat.
He's already got 5 doubles, 2 more today, and it's so good to see him pick that one up on a breaking ball. Eric is such a good fastball hitter, and he has improved dramatically the last couple of years in hitting the breaking ball. And it's been after a lot of hard work. The last couple of years he's gone to the Dominican Winter League. He's already worked on hitting breakers. Quiet around here today. Drummers are trying to do their part. Everybody's got thunder sticks, but got to break them out here and see if the A's can finally score against Clemens, as he is getting towards the end. Roger now at an even 100 pitches. Great ratio. Almost 2/3 strikes. Last 3 innings, the A's have threatened to score, not been able to get through on them. Juan Acevedo and Sterling Hitchcock. Hitchcock was up before. Acevedo was closing while Rivera was on the disabled list, and now he is setting up and struggling in that role. He gave up the home run to Eric Chavez to lose the game a week ago in New York. Count is 2-1 on Chris Singleton, who has one of the A's 5 hits, a double his own. That is off the glove of Almonte into left. Burns will be held at third. Eric Almonte looked like he was going to make the backhand catch, but it glanced off his glove. A's have first and third and 1 out against Clemens.
Good hitting by Chris Singleton going opposite field, and smart base running by Eric Burns. 5 down. You don't want to get doubled off and try to score. So he waited till Almonte missed the ball, came very close to making a spectacular catch.
Eric Chavez earlier in the game, this ball hit by Posada, injured his left hand. We are now told that he has a contusion of the left hand, and he has been taken for x-rays. Contusion means basically a bruise. Let's just hope the x-rays are negative and it's only a bruise. Mark Johnson. He got bruised his first time up. Roger drilled him. And he lined out to left his second time out. First and third. 1 out. And he's trying to get on the board. Well, the A's have great speed on the bases here. Burns at third, Singleton at first. Johnson, a very patient hitter. 1 ball and a strike.
Well, 5 runs against a good pitching staff. Tough to try to overcome. However, the ball is carrying well today. It is daytime. That means get the ball in the air. Take your chances. And the Yankees have hit 2.
Johnson. Slowly hit ball. Tough to get a double play here. But he's safe. He's safe. And the A's do get a run. Mark Johnson stays out of a double play. Joe Torre comes out of the dugout to talk to Jim Reynolds. Very close play there, and that will cost Clemens the shutout. Scoring from third is Burns, and the Yankee lead is down to 5-1.
Second baseman, Mark Ellis.
All friendly there with Joe and Reynolds. Slowly hit ball. They almost got it though.
Chris Singleton trying to get the angle to maybe even take one off the back, and just barely. Mark Johnson got the bag, but Chris Singleton going out to get Almonte. A little stutter step by Johnson at the last moment. Like it might cost him.
Johnson, third RBI of the year, false, and the A's will not be shut out. Here comes Torre now out of the Yankee dugout again, this time to visit Clemens.
I like the way Singleton went into second base. Once he saw Soriano field the ball, he just started to go deeper and deeper. And good idea to try to take one off the back.
Well, Joe came out and was only there for seconds. Probably told Roger, this is your last batter. As they got the back-to-back lefties here now, Hedberg and then Chavez, and they got Sterling Hitchcock down there. Well, this might be it. The Yankees will be here in August, as we noted. May see Roger then, but you never know. May see him in October. Well, this possibly could be Rogers' last batter he'll ever face here at the Oakland Coliseum, the Network Associates Coliseum. Mark Ellis. Rifles one straight back foul, and the count is 1 ball, 1 strike. Of all the guys the A's have battled the last 15 years or so, I think Roger Clemens has been public enemy #1 around here the most, going back to Stu and the matchups in the 80s and 90s. His Blue Jay career, and of course now the A's #1 rival, the Yankees. Seattle in the division certainly, but the Yankees knocking the A's out of the playoffs 2 years back to back.
As you had said, the A's have won 3 in a row after losing last Friday, and they could only hope to have won 3 in 2 of the last 3 years in postseason. Could not do that against New York.
Strike. And I think Roger would say of all the teams that he has battled, the A's have been his #1 opponent.
Good slider from Clemens. Didn't break that much, but the velocity perhaps fooled Mark Ellis.
Roger 15-15 career against the A's. He has a winning record against every other American League team. Count is full now. He has pitched great, 2.8 ERA, but a lot of Stewart matchups didn't go his way. Thundersticks are out now. Welcome back to Cali, Yankees. Taking off is Johnson. Ball 4. Clemens walks Ellis. Well, the last man he will face, at least today here in Oakland, he loses. Sterling Hitchcock will come in to face Scott Hatteberg, as the crowd here at the Network Associates Coliseum gets to say so long to Roger Clemens.